Happy holidays, friends. It is us here at Silent Podcasts, where we are anything but silent. And I am so happy to actually have real coverage of a Lego Masters season, although it's a mini season. We finally have some coverage happening. We're here with the Lego Masters Celebrity Holiday Bricktacular. I am one of your hosts, Mark Levy, and I am here with my fellow host,
Josh Kettles.
Yeah.
What are we? Are we J and M and J?
Yeah.
It doesn't quite work as well as R&B, but
Oh my
I'm glad to
gosh.
be here nonetheless.
I'm so excited to actually talk to Lego Masters with someone that on our team, and I'm just so excited about this 3 episodes that we had, and it was great. Yeah, how okay? I know that you are also a Lego maniac like me. How I don't want to ask how you fell into Lego Masters, but like, how have you enjoyed Lego Masters is a better question.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
far.
yeah. Well, I will share how I fell into Lego Masters was because of your wonderful interview with Jamie and Amy, and I hadn't ever heard of the show, to be honest. And then I'm a big fan of reality TV,
Of
and
course,
I
yeah.
love that interview with them. I love their sincerity, like just about like how much they clearly enjoyed doing their job, which I've seen a bunch of reality TV interviews, especially with people that are on the production side and they can they don't usually sound as like, again, sincere and excited as Jamie and Amy were. So anyways, that is how I got into Lego Masters. And so quickly binge the last 3 seasons, watch this holiday bricktacular. But I have always been a Lego fan. Now, I'm not the biggest Lego maniac, not the
Yeah.
biggest Lego expert, to be completely honest. It has been a
Neither of us really
while.
are. Like, we're both
Yeah.
fans. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I love the show, though. And I do love Lego. Like, there's not a time where in any house or apartment or anything where I've lived where I have not had, have not been packing some Lego somewhere in some cabinet and stuff. So it's very much a hobby for me. I'll bring out some some kit or a box and do it like a puzzle or something in front of a show.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, there's some amazing Christmas memories I have of unwrapping a present only to discover it was a great Lego set that then I built over the next few days or week or whatever when I was a kid. So yeah, Lego's always been there, and it felt especially nostalgic doing it like a Christmas episode. I was like, this makes so much sense because like most of my childhood associations with Lego are around Christmas.
Yeah. Like, I never really got Lego for Hanukkah or anything, but I really, really have always like I remember like my favorite things ever as a kid was going to Toys R Us, getting to Lego aisle, and then just seeing a massive aisle of everything. And like I remember I was really, really big into the pirate sets. Like that was like my big thing always. And it was just really it's just such beautiful nostalgia. I still get the kick of like going down like a Target aisle and just seeing all the Lego sets. And I like the cool adult Lego sets. I actually had a really funny thing happen recently because I just started a new job and we had a holiday party. And the person that had me for Secret Snowman, he randomly bought me a knockoff Lego set of like Ninja Turtles. And he also got my turtle right with I only met this guy for like 5 hours. He like got it correct, like Michelangelo, and like in a pizza parlor. It was like cool. We can geek about Lego all we want. But I have a feeling when season 4 comes, you and I will probably be doing coverage probably weekly.
I would love to.
Yeah. Let's get started on this. I'm so happy that the season happened the way it did. It was just such a nice, sweet little 3-day season. And the fact that the celebrities they cast, although are in that normal tier of like weird BC grade that you would normally get for this type of thing, they're so game for what they're doing. And like, it feels like you're watching a regular Lego Master episode, even though it's like Leslie Jordan has never played Lego. Vanessa Mitchell has only seen his kids play Lego. Cheryl Hines might be lost. Robin Thicke is having a good time. Like that's it. Like it's great,
Can I just start off with a hot take here?
Yes.
It's a question, maybe rhetorical, but is this the superior format of the show? Like, because I was just thinking about like I I loved this. I mean, I binged all 3 seasons in like the last like month or whatever. Like I love this show now. It is like one of my favorite reality shows. I'll be game to watch it and talk with you every time it comes on. But just I don't feel like a lot of the technical stuff was sacrificed. Now, again, I'm not an expert, so this is me more of my amateur hat on. Now, the builds weren't as complex, as big, for sure. But you get so much more, like you get so much fun with having these like comedians and actors and experts and just and fun personalities bouncing off of each other. I feel like there's also some nice fun tension between two strangers who are trying to get to know each other as they build. I don't know. I was like, they should do this a lot. Like they should do this more than just like once a year for the holidays. Like, I would love to watch this format.
I think it'd be really fun though if they did a Lego Master season where it's like actual like Boone level pro, and then like someone that's famous doing it, like or a novice, just a full on novice that's good on TV.
Yeah. I just thought it was so entertaining with like all these different personalities, and thought it was a really fresh like new season to watch after watching those first 3 seasons.
Yeah, and like you are right though, because like it's always like I've been building Lego since I was 8 years old, or like I was born holding a Lego, or it's like me and my life partner we only build Legos together, or it's I don't know, it's like that thing of like it's always like the people are diehards. They have to be because they're building these amazing like dioramas or whatever. Yeah. And I do love one of the things I actually love about this so much is how it feels. Unlike in the regular show, all these builds feel believable for like regular people.
Yeah, I mean, again,
except for like say Boone and Robin's last build.
The last one that was so good. Was there any question that they were going to win the show when they even were like halfway through? I mean, there was a little tension of is it going to work? And I was like, if this half works, it's going to win. Like they have like the jingle to go with it. You know, it ties into the theme of their last build. Like it just like everything was working on every level for them.
I put this out in the Twitterverse. I really, really want to talk Lego with Boone and just talk to Boone for some podcast. I tweeted that last night out after watching the episode. I'm like, yeah, let's like I would love to because me and him are cut from the same cloth, even though I don't sing as well. Well, yeah, let's talk about the pairings first, right? Like that's the most important thing. We already started talking about. Let's start with. I believe we both are very big Boone fans. From what I mean, like it's hard not to. The guy. I hate saying it because that takes away from people that won that season. But Mark and Boone should have won season 1.
Rob God S.
God Zzzes. Like they I think they are the reason why Lego Master got renewed for a second season, in my personal opinion. I don't think the first season's bad. I think they bring it from like okay first season to fantastic first season.
Yeah, they have the combination of what you want in the people building, which is they are really good, no question. Obviously, they made it to the final 3, but also just very fun and entertaining. And I think like Boone, Will, you could tell he was Will's go-to guy in that first season. Just like, hey, Boone, give us a song, hit us with like something. And Boone was always good to deliver. So it was like there was no chance they weren't getting him back as long as flights were still going in and out of Denmark, which. It sounds like
right because I thought they got hired for Lego after his season.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, if you haven't watched the first season of Lego Master, I can't recommend it enough because like I think the best build in the whole series is that bridge episode.
Yeah, that was definitely. That was a very exciting episode. I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't watched it yet. Go watch it. I would agree.
Yeah, and that. We'll talk about that obviously when we get to episode 2 of the Holiday Bricktacular. Next, let's talk about let's do Mel and Leslie. Let's keep it season 1 because Mel was also season 1. I love one of the things I love about this is that they did just bring back the people that were like the top tier players. They brought back some of the mid tier. I'd say two mid tier players. Because I would qualify Dom in that category too. That's not a bad thing. Mid-tier is better than I would ever do on the show. But Mel was entertaining and memorable, and I was happy to see him get brought back. Yeah, Leslie Jordan this is, I think, the last thing he really did before he passed away. And it's like, I'm not the biggest Leslie Jordan fan. I've always like appreciated him in small doses, but this might be my favorite Leslie Jordan thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, man. Like the last episode when he breaks out the tap shoes, and if that's literally the last thing that he recorded on camera, like that's beautiful. Like he had some. I just when I first watched it, I didn't know he had passed. I turned to
Yeah.
my wife and I said, "Oh man, it's probably like a handicap to have like an older guy, like they build for so many hours." And I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, it must be tougher to have someone there. Like he probably, is probably not gonna have as much energy and stuff. And I was like completely wrong, like he was into it, and like he obviously has so much energy. And I'm not super familiar with his works. Like, I
Yeah.
watched Will and Grace here and there. But just, yeah, man, I just to have that enthusiasm and again sincerity, which I think makes the show work so well. I love having him there, and then having Mel back like paid off so well for that second challenge. Like it
Yeah.
was, like just the fact that worked out the way it did was, amazing, and just again made this season like so good.
Yeah, I just was able to bring up Robin Thicke. We haven't. We saw that Boone. We saw that Boone.
Well, this is also what I said to him. I said that if I was standing in a room with Boone or Robin Thicke, I would be way more starstruck standing in the presence of Boone, just like Dom did. When he was like joking, like how he's talking around Robin. But yeah, no, I mean Robin's great. Obviously, like I'm not a big Masked Singer guy. Seen it a couple times.
I'm familiar with his early songs. I'm not a Masked Singer person, but I respect it. People like it, and it doesn't mean it's doing bad. Always. Yeah.
He as probably like the most A-list celebrity or closest, to that level. Like I appreciate and that he was into it. So as long as people are into it and not too cool for like anything that's happening, then I was like, we were game.
I would qualify Robin probably as of the four, the most Lego master of them all, because it seems like he played with Lego more recently than probably all of them, except for maybe Finesse.
Yeah,
but Finesse doesn't seem like he really played with Lego. Well, we'll talk about him in a moment, but
yeah.
I guess I'll bring up Finesse and Natalie. I love Natalie in her season. I think Natalie reminded me so much of like what happened to Nick and Stacy in season 3. How like it felt like they were always near the bottom and kept persevering. Her and her teammate were like such great TV characters, and I was so happy they brought her back.
Yeah.
Finesse Mitchell, SNL alum, comedy guy. I feel like he does a lot of these kind of shows, and I was like, oh, that's cool to see him on this. And I was really happy with their dynamic.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought Natalie was great in her first season too. I thought that the fashion episode from her original season was like a legit Lego build that I felt like could have sold right off the shelf. So I was glad to see her return to that in the third build of this special. But yeah, no, she's great. She was also one of those go-to people for Will, like when he needed an entertaining moment on the season. So made total sense to have her back. And yeah, I wasn't super familiar with Finesse. I mean, obviously I recognized him and I was like, is he newer on SNL? And then I went back, I was like, oh no, he was on SNL like when I was growing
2005 or so.
Yeah. Like back in the day when I was watching SNL on cable, like at my parents' house.
And our last team was Dom from season 3. He was one of the TikTok people, for those that don't remember his name off. Yeah. And Cheryl Hines from Curb Your Enthusiasm and other things too. I love that they're the most dressed the same of every team. Because I feel like every team is dressed alike, but they're just the same. And I hate calling it this, but they have a very fun mom and son energy. Cheryl is definitely on the side of the spectrum of closer to Leslie, where they have very little knowledge of Lego, but like is game. I like how she keeps referencing my hometown, Miami, because she's from Miami.
When I first saw the like thumbnail for the season, I was like, oh, they're building with like their parents, because I saw the like the matching outfits immediately. And then I realized, oh no, it's a whatever, it's a celebrity thing. And then of course I recognize it from Curb Your Enthusiasm. But yeah, they were the most surprising duo, like how they worked out so well. I was very impressed. Like Dom, like when I was his age, like I didn't know how to interact with like middle-aged women, like and like they had such a fun rapport and like a mom-son relation like dynamic going. So it was really fun. And totally, like at the third build, like she was giving him pointers about like like maybe we should try this, and I was like, you go, Cheryl, let's go.
Yeah, I think she was one of the more game celebrities like that grew during. Like I'd say like the ones that grew the most were like her and Robin, and yeah, I mean like Dom is weird to me because I never was the biggest fans of Ethan and Dom. I'm not opposed to them, but I just like I never really loved them as characters. But it was really cool like to see him play with someone that's very different from Ethan.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. And he's I was like, man, this guy should book some more stuff on TV. He's a good-looking kid and he's got some charisma going for him. I was like, man, hopefully he can like leverage this for something else, on Fox or something.
I mean, like I'm sure like I feel like him and Nick and Stacey are gonna like start making builds on because I know that him and Ethan are TikTok people and Nick and Stacey are Twitch people. So maybe they'll become friends. I mean, they are friends, obviously, but yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's just dive into that first episode, huh? It's that first episode's name. I love the names of every season of every episode. So it's Celebrity Holiday Bricktacular soaring snowmobiles. And they have to make a snowmobile that will be launched over a city through a ring of fire, and whichever one goes the farthest will be the top two. Now, I find this really interesting how this was the way that the season worked. How it was always like whoever does the best two in like the actual competition are going to be in the top two. And then like aesthetics is what's going to be the other part of it. I also like the fact that no one gets actually eliminated, and of course the charity aspect too.
Yeah. I like the challenges that tend to be like this because I think narratively, I think it makes more sense. It kind of creates like a 3-act structure of like the first act is like, the challenge, and then this, win or lose. And the second act is like the judging on this, or sorry, first act is building it. And then, then the second act is, okay, who makes it the farthest? And then the third act is who makes it on the aesthetics. And I feel like that like 3-part structure really works. And I think when they don't have the extra, like 2 criteria, like to judge on, they add in a twist in the middle of it to make a 3-act structure. But anyways, I tend to like the ones, as again, a more amateur builder, I tend to like the ones that have the 2 criteria because I think it's more fun for me to like see the competition and then be judged on something that's more objective. And then the judges come in and weigh in on like more of the subjective stuff, which I wouldn't really know how to judge.
Yeah. So I think these builds are all very cool. They're very fun. I love how all 4 builds are built around like the like a very fun, cute character. Actually, every build in this whole season pretty much involves a cute character, at least, or a cute design. It's a very cute season,
Yeah.
And I'm sure they were instructed that way. Although these are poppy builders, except for probably Boone, but Boone does a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
I loved watching how this challenge unfolded. And I think that Cheryl and Dom's build might be the best Christmas tree I've ever seen built out like it.
Yeah. No, it was really, really good. And it was surprising how obviously well it worked, like, functionally on top of that. And it was the most unique looking of the 4 builds for sure, with the way that they did the Christmas tree there.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about any of the ones that you liked a lot also, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember this first challenge. Do you remember what the other builds were?
Yeah,
so the first one.
Natalie, I know Natalie and Finesse had the jingle balls.
Oh yeah, that exploded right away. That's right. Yeah.
I love how literally almost everyone's exploded instantly.
Yeah. Especially if they had the characters on top like that. Yeah.
Because if I'm not mistaken, it was Mel and Leslie had the carrot.
Yeah.
And the carrot just like you see the super slow motion, you see it flying backwards as soon as the launch happens.
Thank you for jogging my memory here. The only notes I had were on the Christmas tree snowmobile.
It's so good. And also they write this, the idea of like you want it to be lightweight so it'll go far, but you want to have some weight so it will make it past the flaming the flaming ring in the sky.
Oh yeah, and then now that my memory's been jogged, I remember Boone and Robin's like Corvette style car at the beginning too, snowmobile.
The pink car,
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, it was like it's a very fun challenge, and Lego Masters does this so well of just like thinking through all the challenges to all the little details, like even just adding the Ring of Fire just makes it like it's silly. Obviously, it doesn't functionally change anything, but it just makes it like that much more fun. It just pluses it, makes it like
Yeah.
5% more fun.
And like it was also really cool because I feel like every time we watch the building segment of Lego Master, we always get them being like, we have to make this giant elaborate thing. And it's like this time it's like basically teaching Leslie Jordan how to put Legos together.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry, I know I'm moving the camera a lot. My legs are asleep. I'm literally on the floor right now with a space heater right next to me in my girlfriend's basement.
It's all good. We can be flexible, you know,
Yeah.
just like you got to be with your Lego builds, some like last minute adjustments. But yeah, we want to talk about episode 2, or do we want to talk
Well,
about
yeah,
anything
I
more
was
on
going to talk
episode 1?
about because I know that the Christmas tree went really, really far. Like it went like 3 feet further than everyone else, and then they won, which was huge because I know Dom is like us a very big Boone fan, and I felt good for him. You know, it was nice. Cheryl was happy. She raised money for UCP, which
Yeah.
is great. Right. So I also got to say that every episode, $10,000 goes to the winner. This charity, and that's great. So
Yeah, no, it's so fun. Like I love this format. I'm a big fan of everything they did. They just thought through everything so well.
yeah. All right, yeah. Let's move to episode 2 then. Episode 2. The title is where is the title? I scrolled away from where I was, and I believe it is Slay It. And this is a version of what I call the Bridge Challenge in season 1, where they have to make they have like 2 chimneys and they have to build a sleigh that will sit between the 2 chimneys, and they have to put a lot of weight on top of it. And obviously, the 2 that get the highest amount of weight on will be in the top tier.
Yeah, yeah, and again, it harkens back to that bridge episode, which was iconic for sure. And yeah, they clearly made a couple adjustments this time around with making sure they have enough weights present, making the weights look fun like Christmas toys,
Yeah.
Or bags of presents. And yeah, it was, but still, even so, like I was like, are we gonna break the show? Or is this gonna happen again?
They came close.
Yeah.
Yeah. And these builds were really fun and cool. Also, like, I love the design that Natalie and Vanessa made, or it's like a cool black sleigh with like wreath or whatever going through it. And I love how Leslie's had like Leslie and Mel's had it was like a red themed with like a cool little character on the side.
Yeah, I love
And
that little cow.
Yeah. And like the retroness of Team R&B, with like the blue sled with the fire coming out of the back.
Yeah. It was really fun, and people did a really good job. This is where I get so interested about like the technical abilities when like the judges are telling them, like they gave like Natalie like specific pointers of like, I think you should just stick with the technique, and really like lean in there. And it paid off for her, at least not to be in the last place spot, but just I really this is so fascinating to me because this is like high level stuff that's just over my head, and so I'm just on the edge of my seat as somebody who doesn't understand what's going on. But I'm just like, I'm not an engineer. I studied literature in college. Like this is all just like way beyond me, and I'm just but it's still very, very exciting to see like tick by tick, present by present, is it going to fall or not? And again, great challenge.
Yeah, I find Technic to be very fascinating. I have no idea how to use it, like the way it's supposed to, how it can be used. Like whenever I have a Technic piece on a build, I just say, oh, okay, just put it there. And I imagine that it will hold the weight it needs to weight. But it's so cool how massive these things can be when Technic is evolved. And like how they can actually be like real weight bearing. Like the weakest one of these is like 100 pounds.
Yeah, no, it's extremely impressive, like on every level.
And yeah, like so yeah, like Natalie and Vanessa did 180 pounds, and I believe Cheryl and Dom did almost like 100 pounds, and like it fell apart. And like,
Yeah.
it's so cool watching these things break. And I hate to say that, like, I've never been a big fan of like, oh, I want to watch Lego break. It's like really cool watching how these break.
Yeah. No, it is. And they got the slow motion camera set up. They have like the splash shield as well. Like I just I just want to be super clear. I know I said this, but I'm a big reality TV fan. Survivor, I feel like is like the highest quality reality TV show out there. And what I love about Survivor is they think through the twist, they think through the presentation, they think through how they're gonna shoot the rewards or all that stuff. And then I watch other shows and they like don't think through stuff and they're kind of making it up on the fly. And sometimes it works and it doesn't. Lego Master, whoever the producer is, like I will watch whatever reality show they put out there because they think through all the little details that make the show that much more entertaining, and it never feels like they don't know what they're doing. Like
exactly,
and so it just like it's such a high quality show. And so when I watch like the bridge episodes, I love that it's two chimneys on the side. Like they have like the splash shield. They have like the presents are like again like characters in themselves. You have Santa that you put in on the sleigh. Like it just all works so well. And then it's so fun just to watch it just like all come crumbling down, which is so fun about Legos is because it's like Lego is temporary, right? Like it's in its nature, Lego is not something that is like you don't glue them together. You build it. I mean, maybe they do it Legoland, but like besides that, it's like meant to be taken apart, put back together. And I love that that's like built into like the challenge in the show itself.
And like I also am fascinated because like in the bridge episode, remember they had like actually built supports. The only support here is like the sleigh legs.
Yeah.
And well, the skis, I guess. I don't know sleighing or skiing or anything like that, but like the base is like that, and like it was really cool. Like I thought that Dom and Cheryl's was gonna do a lot better with the whole little like
crossbars.
And like watching it just give out almost immediately was so sad.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know much about like sleighs either. I'm from San Diego, California, so I've seen snow like 5 times in my life.
I've seen snow more. I'm surrounded by snow literally right now. But like, I don't know sleighs or anything. I'm just like, that's cool. But like, also let's get to like the top 2 of this episode. With Mel and Jordan. Like I remember, I forgot about how bad Mel, like how he was affected so badly by this episode of the first season. And watching him get this redemption was so cool. It felt so nice for Leslie too. Who was by far the most novice of everyone, I'd say, of the 4. And it was really cool seeing them like get over 200 pounds and how happy that it like truly meant to Mel. Like, it's that weird thing of like when you watch reality TV, you forget these are some of these real people. And like that's always like this guy got damage, like emotional damage from what happened. And it's nice to see him get a healing moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I love that him being brought back for this moment paid off for everything else, So I loved seeing how happy he was. And then it's great to see Leslie get a win, like that he was so excited. Like I said, he contributed that little cow that was on the the logo there. Yeah. And it was really, really sweet to watch them win. But of course, Boone and Robin are, they got second place.
Knows how to do techniques so well. They got 500 pounds on that, like, right? Yeah. Like that's insane.
Yeah,
and then a massive crack for half of that too.
Yeah, no, both of their builds were so good, and I knew though that once it got to the top 2, I was like, okay, Mel and Leslie are gonna win. Like the Boone, they built theirs like so well for structure, but it didn't quite have the little extra flourishes that like
the fire looked really cool. They did a really good job making the fire not just be like one fire piece in the back. It was like 6 or 7, like looking like kind of nasty fire, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's very dynamic. Like it definitely felt like it was like the fire was like moving.
Yeah.
So I'm believe me, it was still really good looking. It just was like clear, like okay, we can tell who's gonna win based off aesthetics alone. But the building technical side, I mean, Boone's the master. Like he again, like I awestruck to be in his presence, you know. Like
This should just call the show Lego Boone at certain points, you know.
Bring him back for every season, you
Oh
know,
my
as
gosh,
a special guest.
that'd be
At least
so
one
intimidating.
episode.
Can you imagine like season 4 is like, we're so happy to be here, and like Boone walks in with a sweater, like, hey guys, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah. My hands would start shaking as I'm putting the Legos, like, you know, onto the thing.
Oh man, it's great. I love it. Anything else you want to talk about in this episode before we move forward?
No, I mean, we'll get to this a little bit more with their jingle, but just Boone and Robin, I think, making up their songs as they go along for every little, you know, challenge when they're presenting things. Like,
yeah,
that was really, really fun. Like, just having them paired together. They knew what they were doing. Will Arnett was like, we got to get another, you know, musician to be in here with Boone because I want him singing, you know, 5 times an episode.
It's also really fun, like watching the dynamic of like a Leslie and a Mel, where like Mel has to like be a teacher, and like Finesse and Natalie are just having fun, but like Finesse keeps going like, oh man, my daughters love Lego, so I'm gonna like try and impress them with this. And like it was just, I really love the dynamic. Like the dynamics are so good. I don't know how they got them this good, but like, because like, there's got to be a list of celebrities that are like, yeah, these are the ones that are available to go to Georgia for this week, or whatever. I love it.
Yeah. I'm ready to move on to episode 3, though.
Awesome. The title, super easy or hard, finale. There are 2 challenges. They have to build a toy and pitch it, and then whoever wins that gets to choose who gets. I love this main build. I watched the second half of the episode on my flight last night, and I was really excited because, like, you know, get to watch it on a plane. People are like, oh, what's that? But they had to build a snow globe out of one of 4 different themes, and this felt closest. Like this felt like one of the closer episodes to like a normal Lego Master episode. You know?
Yeah. You mean like the skill and stuff involved in it?
Yeah, and like also like I don't want to say randomness of like what you have to build. But like sometimes, like it reminds me, like the dog show episode, like how it's like you get your breed, that's what you have to build, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And these definitely were the most like technical builds, for sure. And I mean,
biggest, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, the slates were probably bigger, but those were like, you know, more blocky and stuff, so a little bit less of like the building to that scale of detail.
Yeah, so I forgot that I did not write down the name of what R&B built.
The Boppy the lemur corn. I have that one right here. Don't need my notes.
Oh my god, it's like that's the only one that needs to be talked about. I feel like, right? I mean,
it was so good. Instantly knew it was gonna win, and then they throw in the jingle like. Boppy the lemur corn. Like I can't sing at all, so that's not.
You're
the
better
jingle,
than me,
but,
honestly. I'm literally next like a heat lamp, basically trying to stay warm. So my voice is dried out, and I can't sing.
Yeah. So but it just you knew it was over when they brought that guy out, and they were. I really enjoyed everybody's pitches for sure. Like this was really a really fun challenge because it involved the strengths of the celebrities.
I mean, let's see his tap dancing.
Yeah, exactly. So I just thought I'd let the celebrities play to their strengths, which was a really smart way to design the challenge. Again, get this producer on any reality TV show, you know, on TV. So it was a smart, well-designed challenge, and I thought everyone had a lot of fun with it. And again, no bad designs. There was nothing lacking, but like one was just, you know, was literally ready to be on a shelf in a Toys R Us for a young Mark to go and pick out, you know, among other
Mark.
toys.
Oh no. Also, I'm not calling myself old, but like present day Mark would also buy that too.
Yeah.
But like it was also cool, like how it moved, like how movement functioned to it too.
Yeah, absolutely.
It just
Well, when Will was at their table and then Robin was just like, oh yeah, and maybe we can have the tail move, and I just felt like I saw Boone's face be like, he out loud said that's a good idea. He's like, that's a good idea, but I feel like internally he's like, Robin, don't make this harder than it needs to be. Like you don't know what you're asking, you know, to get that tail to move. But Boone delivered.
Boone delivers. Oh my god. Yeah. So then they get their snow globes. They choose the Toy Factory one for themselves. They give Tropical Christmas to Cheryl and Dom. They give like Candy Cane Lane fashion show to Finesse and Natalie, and they give to Mel and Leslie the like fairy snowball fight thing. And I think this is like to the strengths of all four. Like I don't think anyone really gets in a bad position. I feel like in theory they could have been strategic because Dom and Cheryl are probably the closest in challenge caliber to them. But I don't think that anyone got like screwed over in this.
No, not at all. I mean, the Natalie and Finesse struggled. You know, they said they didn't build anything for 2 hours, before
Which is
coming
a
up with their
common thing
idea.
for them. And it's like unfortunately, like I believe that's a thing that happened to her in her initial season too, where like it would be like a lot of brainstorming and while everyone else is like getting the base ready. Which I mean, that's sometimes how you have to do it. Like sometimes you're a quicker worker once you get going, but like and you have your idea like fully sketched out in your brain. Yeah.
Yeah, that yeah. So I don't know, yeah, what the block was. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's just like that's not her strength. And maybe her partner, who I forgot what her name was, but you know, maybe she was better at that, or they had a more rapport. So obviously, you're just building with a stranger, so it's a little bit tough to decide. And I do think, having watched it, I do think Finesse probably was the weakest partner to get as a celebrity. I just think that,
Yeah.
like, you know, I mean, obviously we see him like ruin like the build halfway through by accidentally dropping something down. So
Yeah.
you know, I'm not saying he wasn't into it and wasn't trying and stuff, but like I think he was probably the toughest partner to get.
I actually think this might be like the most standard episode version. Like I like watching like it's oh no, so it went wrong, and then like either they fix it or they don't.
Yeah.
Because they remember with Leslie and Mel, they built their fairies too high up,
Yeah.
and like oh no, and they have an hour left. And oh wait, we'll just move them like that, and then it's fixed. Because
Yeah.
like yeah, you're working at the snow globe, like you have a height limit.
Yeah, I
So
was a little confused as to why people weren't putting the bowls over the top of the thing before the last minute. I mean, yeah, the fact that two builds were both too tall and had to make last minute adjustments was
one of them was
a little
not the last minute,
surprising.
but one of them was in the last second.
Yeah, and then they had to scrap the whole candy cane sign, which I think was the only thing Finesse really contributed to the build.
Yeah, I mean, because it actually was a pretty cool looking build with that sign.
Oh, it was super cool, even
I,
without the sign. Like, it
yeah,
was still really cool. Yeah.
especially because like because they all required movement. For those that haven't watched the episode, we hope you do. Also go this far and watch the episode. But like, it's that thing of like they both were moving at their own pace, which is pretty cool too.
Yeah,
The back
no,
and forth,
definitely
yeah,
multiple motors going on there. And you could tell instantly what it was. Like, you could tell instantly that it was a candy cane lane theme with the
yeah.
way that the fashion of like the characters and the runway and all that stuff. And then you could tell that it was clearly a fashion show and runway, especially because of the movement. So they
Yeah.
really locked it in super well with like the clearly recognizable image of what was going on.
I think it was the second best movement, in my personal opinion, honestly. Like, because like Mel Leslie one, yeah, it was just them
Yeah.
spinning. I couldn't tell what was happening in Dom and Cheryl's. Like the moon was supposed to move, but I didn't really see the moon move.
Yeah, I think that the idea was, you know, once in a blue moon and snow. So then
Yeah,
the only movement was just the moon shows up and then the snow starts. That was like an idea, but yeah, it wasn't very complex.
yeah,
And like, even you know, they got the feedback from the judges that their moon needed to be a little bit bigger, and they
yeah.
followed it. And that's where I thought Cheryl came in with a nice little suggestion of like, I don't know exactly what's going on, but she was just like, what if we tried this? And then Dom, you know, again, to his credit, like, he listened to her, and I thought that that's what was like really special about their duo and stuff. Was like, this is a young kid. It would be very easy for him to just be a know-it-all and like, you know, just be like, you know, I know what
Yeah.
I'm doing. You know, shut up, you noob.
I have many followers, and she's like, "So do I. I'm a celebrity."
Yeah. So I was just really impressed with him. You know, on it, like, I on his own like social interpersonal skills, which are not always present in a young man of his age.
Honestly, in general, in my personal opinion, from his season, I was really shocked that they brought them back. I think brought him back mainly. I think just because they need someone in the same caliber as Boone, you know.
Yeah.
Uh,
And I do
yeah,
think that like I know that like I think they kind of got like a little bit
they
screwed
got
over
screwed. They
by
got
the way
screwed.
that
Yeah,
by not just their last challenge, that golfing one, which was like that was a little bit of a controversial like
yeah.
boot. But I'm just saying in general, they're kind of set up as villains because they came in like
3 or 4
partway through the
episodes in.
show,
Yeah.
and then everybody like all the confessionals from all the other contestants were like, "Who are these guys?" You have like Steven and
No,
Steven saying
who are
like,
these kids?
yeah, who are these kids exactly? And they're TikTokers, and Steven are like, oh, we're gonna treat them like rookies, and so it just, I do feel like seeing him, I just feel like they're presented as like kind of like heels in their first appearance, and so I feel like Dom came back and he just was like, he's a really nice kid. I like him. I would love to see him on another season or whatever, like anything else. I would be interested in watching him. So. And
Yeah,
then on top of that, he is really, skilled. So yeah.
and he seems like a sweet kid. And like the build's really cool. As a person from Miami, it was really cool seeing how they represented what looked like a vintage version of downtown Miami. That was on the beach, which isn't how it is, but it felt cool. I like that they had little Lego lights inside of it too.
Yeah.
It made me happy.
It was the
Also,
most classic looking snow globe because a lot of snow globes are
yes,
little
yeah,
like caricatures of cities inside of them. So it really felt like the most classic snow globe.
I'd say it was probably the second most believable, in my personal opinion.
Believable in what way?
Like for us, like I think that is like the most believable, like traditional. But like,
Oh yeah.
I feel like Robin and Boone, which we're not going to talk about yet. Like they also had a very believable snow globe.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mel and Leslie, I thought theirs was great too. Although the movement was weak, because it was just two spinning at the top. But I think the actual character design of the elf snowball fight was really cute. And the fact they put Will in, I thought was a fun little touch too.
Yeah. No, yeah, that was fun. You can tell they're just having fun with it. I don't think that they had I mean, I don't know. I'm sure they wanted to win, but I think that they knew they were outmatched, probably seeing those other things go up, and just adding a little touch of Will on there,
Yeah.
riding a bear, I think, something fun like
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really sweet. And Leslie's like, I just so like, it was so cool just to see how into it he was, building little characters, and like their rapport was really good. So yeah, definitely a good one to go out on. But Mel already had his moment in the second episode, so I think he was fine. Just he didn't need anything else from this holiday special.
It was nice. Like that like it was a good arc for them.
Yeah.
And then we get to the people that had, I'd say, the most frustrating arc of the whole season. Because always second place, but team R&B, who literally came in second place there every challenge but this one, with their amazing like Christmas tree in the middle and elves moving around, and I don't know how they did that, but props to them.
Yeah, the Operation Boppy Copy, aka Oppy Boppy Copy, was honestly one of the most iconic builds we've seen. I just think like it's so hard to capture a story like with a like in any kind of static like piece of art, like whether it's a painting or whether it's again just a sculpture, which is basically what Lego is. And so the fact that they captured a story so clearly, like both because it tied into the background of their last build, and then it had the movement, which really clearly demonstrated what it was. And then even their mini boppies, those little lemurcorns, like were really instantly recognizable. And so I loved it so much. And then it was technically so good. Like Boone's the GOAT, he's the GOAT.
Yeah. 100%. And it was so cool seeing them get that win. And it was much earned. What was this other one in the top two? It was
them, and then it was also Cheryl and Dom.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I feel like every other team was 2 feet behind them at least in quality.
Yeah,
definitely. And it was great. Like it just, like I feel like everyone got what they needed from the season. At least some of the team. Like Dom beat Boone in a challenge because
Yeah.
he's inspired by Boone. Mel got redemption for the bridge. Um, Finesse learned how to play with Legos.
Yeah.
Natalie, I mean, I feel like for her to like, it was tricky because I feel like I'm trying to think like what would have happened. I can't speak because they didn't win any challenges, but they didn't do terrible. And like I feel like she was just more of a teacher aspect for him to grow.
Yeah. I mean, I think that she did well, and again, I think that she was stuck with I think the most difficult partner now in hindsight, having watched all the
Yeah.
episodes. And I yeah, I feel like Natalie she did really well, and I think that like the like I think if they do fashion like industry themed sets like they should definitely give her a call. Like both what she was able to do with the runway,
Yeah.
like Snow Globe, and then also their iconic hat episode.
Yes.
Like just were so good. So I mean, yeah. Again, I don't know why it took her 2 hours to decide on this or think of this because this felt like an easy thing for her just to excel at, and she did. So
It's in
maybe not maybe not as clean of an arc as the other three contestants coming back, like you're saying. But I still think there's nothing for her to be ashamed of here showing up and not winning one of the challenges. I like that they still donated the money to her to the cause of what Finesse was bringing in there. So of course they're just going to have goodwill and just donate money to every charity that is being brought up here.
Fox has money.
Yeah.
And then like it was great because like Boone finally gets a win.
Yeah,
I mean that's all I have to say there. Like yeah,
dude, I jumped out of my couch and was fist pumping. Like I was so glad. Like I didn't even know who Boone was a month ago. But yet I was so invested and so excited to see him win this, win a trophy and have some redemption there. So I hope Robin made that joke, and I kind of like got pissed off. I was like, that better not be going in your house. That's going in Boone's house. That trophy, that is his trophy.
The man deserves a trophy, man. Like
yeah. Come on, you got Grammys or whatever. Like Boone gets the Lego Bricktacular.
Robin, it's like Robin. You take a photo of it with Boone, and you put it in your house. Make it nice. You can even keep the Lego set. Let the man keep the trophy. He earned his trophy.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about anything else before we start wrapping up?
I just want to say because we haven't touched on them at all, but just Will Arnett, talk about goats.
Oh gosh,
Will we can talk about this when I come back for another Lego Masters episode at length. I love Will Arnett in this thing. Like again, the show only works because Lego is like a toy. Like it is for kids. Like that is like the heart of what Lego is.
Yeah.
And so if you don't treat Lego with just sincerity and enthusiasm and passion, like it could easily just not work. And so I think the fact that Will Arnett is, he's a producer, he's the host. I've heard him on his Smart List podcast that he does.
Yeah.
Like he brings up the show and he really loves it. Like he loves doing this. And like you see him get emotional when some contestants leave. Like, there's been times where he was crying, and like the fact that he's this, again, celebrity that's like could be bigger than the show or beneath him, which you see a lot with celebrity hosted shows, is the celebrity host
cake.
Yeah, he just phones it in, or she just phones it in, and like he is not that at all. So Will Arnett is one thing that makes the show super well. I already told you my thoughts.
Like that is like that I've noticed this season is that like Jamie and Amy are being less rigid.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember in season 1 they were very much like we were just the judges. Will Arnett's color commentary, and like now like they were like so goofy this season, and like the whole season they were just so and like even season 2 they were goofy too. But like I love watching them like become like relaxed Jeff Probst after season 15.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. Yeah, Jamie especially has loosened up. Like, he used to not like do the costumes. Like you'd see Amy show up in a costume once in a while, and like he'd kind of like not be in it. And like now he shows up.
He's dressed as an elf.
Yeah, exactly. An elf. He's got the Christmas, jacket on or whatever, the holiday jacket. So yeah, no, that's what I was gonna say. Like I already said, the thing that got me into the show was your interview with them and how like surprised I was at just like how much they like passion they had for this show and their
Yeah.
jobs. And so again, there's people who could easily be above this, and the fact that they're so into it just makes the show work. So yeah, no, I love Jamie and Amy, and I'm so glad that they are the judges for the show.
I mean, their background's so fascinating because he grew up playing with Lego, and she didn't get into Lego until she got hired for Lego.
Yeah,
and
no, I love that.
So great at what they do.
And I love the anecdote from your interview, which everybody, again, if you haven't watched it yet, go back and Silent Podcast, listen to it. And I loved how she said that they had to like the big barrier at the end was like the audience testing to see if her accent could work for Americans. And like, you know, it's so funny when like, when she is like, there's never a moment where they have to like subtitle her or anything. So it's just kind of silly to me that that was an issue.
Accent.
Yeah. But no, they're great. Everybody involved in the show is like, they're putting in their work because I love this show. I'm excited for season 4, and I hope they do the Bricktacular every year.
I hope they do more than just holiday though. I think it'd be really fun to do like a Halloween season or like a summer season might be fun too. I don't know.
Yeah, no, let's do more. Come on, let's everybody
Fox, make it happen.
We know, Fox, you are personally listening to this podcast. 51 minutes in, make it happen, Mr. Fox.
Mr. Fox, we're looking at you. Awesome. I mean, like, thank you so much for doing this. I know it's super early for you. It's early for me, and I'm not as nearly as early as you are. So thank you for waking up early and doing this, because this is great. I'm so happy we were able to talk about Lego on the air.
Yeah, me too. I thank you for introducing me to this show, because it really was you personally. So appreciate it, Mark. And I'm down for season 4 when it comes back. You know, down to talk about that show as well.
Yeah. Let's get some plugs. How can people follow you and anything coming up? I know that you have an amazing podcast also off of the network too. But
yeah. So I'm a big reality TV fan. Survivor is my main show that I'm following. So yeah, Mark has been a guest for me over there at the Future Past Survivor Cast, anchor.fm/Fupasu. I also am part of Silent Podcast here with Mark, and I don't have anything currently in the works there. I've been focusing a little bit more on the Survivor stuff, but
I mean, you became a Gablerologist, which is
yes, I am definitely this season had a wild ending. If you're a Survivor fan, go listen to my podcast. I'm putting on a great one right now.
I need to listen to your last episode because I'm really intrigued by how you handle all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, so if you're a Survivor fan, go listen. If not, just subscribe to Silent Podcast. You'll hear my voice talking about some other TV shows, and definitely, Lego the next time it's on TV.
Yeah. Awesome. You can follow me at MarkLevy85 on everything. Isaiah and I early next year will probably do a top 10 movie episode because we haven't done our movie show in a while because we're both busy. But I think it'd be really cool to do one off. So once in a while, we both agreed that we want to do a top 10 list for this year. Starting early next year, Davey and I will be back covering Survivor New York season 5, Bannerman Island. Very excited about that. We just had a draft. I feel very good about who I chose. Watch the episode. It's on this YouTube channel. And also subscribe to all versions of some podcasts, both on YouTube and listen to download everything because we have so many great things to be covered here. And a lot of other exciting things too. Josh, thank you so much for doing this. I hope your holidays are great, and I wish you well and health for next year too.
Yeah. Thank you, Mark. Happy holidays. Now I'm going to go back to my bed and hit the bricks.
On that, brick you later.